There are only 5 steps to an amazing blow dry. Using the right product, rough drying the hair correctly, sectioning the hair, styling or, your drying technique that you're using, and then most importantly, how you finish the hair. So I like to use 2 main products usually when styling the hair. I always like to use a volumizing product, and I put that one in first just so that's the first thing that's all over my hands. And I work it from the roots all the way to the ends. It gives you control over the end result a bit more, whether that be volume, body, movement. And then I always like to use a little bit of a blow dry cream or spray, and that's gonna be important because it's going to be a heat protectant. It's also gonna hydrate the hair and create smoothness. So next is the rough dry. This is important because first of all, it's going to smooth out all your teeny tiny little baby hairs in the front. And if you don't do that right away, then you're not going to have control over those hairs, and those are gonna start to dry however they want to, whether that be curly or frizzy or in a bunch of different directions. If you go in and rough dry and get majority of the water out while getting volume, your blow dry is going to be much more efficient and your hair is going to stay healthier because you're not going to be tugging on it with a round brush or whatever it is when it's completely soaking wet. Move the hair around the head, back and forth, pulling it up on both sides to create volume, and blow dry the roots to get all that water out of the roots of the hair because the roots are the hardest part to get dry. And I'm using the Supersonic for the rough dry just because it's more powerful. So the entire rough dry, I'm focusing my hair all the way up at the scalp. As you can see, I'm never bringing through the ends and trying to get the ends dry, and yet my ends are naturally getting dry because those are the first things to dry. For my everyday blow dries, I like to just do 3 sections. I like to do kind of this top section. It's almost like a mohawk. Sectioning is important because again, it's going to help you be efficient. It's gonna keep you organized. Make sure you're getting every bit of hair styled and you're not going to be going over sections over and over again. So I like to clip a top section, a middle section, and then leave the bottom section down, start from there. Now we're going to be using the Airwrap. So the idea is you're heating the hair up, you're twirling it up, getting it nice and warm, turning it off while it's still hot. You're taking that curl, putting it back into a tight shape, hanging on to that end and clipping it while it's still warm so that as we're doing the rest of the blow dry, this cools down with hairspray in it. So now we're gonna work up to the second section. Again, I just split that in half and bring it to the front so I can see what I'm working with. So I worked my way all the way around the head. I'm gonna lift this hair up when I go through the roots. The roots are already pretty much dry. We're just kind of finishing drying that and trying to get some extra volume in there. So lifting up is going to be super helpful with that. And then you bring it all the way down to the ends to smooth them. Let that hair wrap around, wrapping up, kind of letting that heat up for a little bit, but not letting it get too hot. And then we're gonna tape our little clip, and I make sure that end is in there so that this is gonna stay together. You're kind of taking some of the root and then that loop and getting it all in there together, and that's gonna keep that volume in there. And then we're gonna spray it. Now we're gonna work up to the top. We're actually gonna take these horizontally over the head, and that's gonna give you the ability to choose whichever part you would like. Okay, our last section. I like to go under it like this. Some people like to do this entire section going under. You can try it that way. I usually like to go this way still. Smooth everything all the way to the bottom. Roll it up nice and neat. You can grab these hairs and kind of place them on there to get movement in those too. Turn that off. A little clip and a little spritz. So this is the style, this is the set, this is what's giving us volume and body, and it's going to give you a long-lasting blow dry because all of this is cooling in small little curls. So let's start from the bottom and start taking these down. So look how curly that is just from a round brush. Amazing. You can see the volume that you're getting from here too, just from clipping that up, which I think is one of the hardest parts for people to get. So you can see now how much body that creates and how much movement that creates, right? Let's flip it to the side. That is a voluminous blowout. Am I right? Ooh, does it get better? Cannot wait for y'all to try this. Today, I'm just gonna use hairspray to finish it and to just hold everything we put in. You can kind of like grab areas and get them to do what you want them to or to hold what you've put in. Get any flyaways to lay down. You can part this in any way that you want. You could also put kind of a smoothing fluid or oil in the end if you have a bit frizzier of hair. Mine's gonna be fine just the way it is, so I just need to add extra hold products to keep that lasting for the next few days. I hope that was super helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned because I think I wanna make a video on how to sleep on this in certain ways to make this last a few days longer. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.